I am not a religious person. Never was, really. The whole holier than thou attitude always put me off. Or maybe it's my deep belief that whenever gods exist or not, no human can claim to speak with divine authority. We are all the same blood and flesh, my friends. We are far more alike than we dare to admit. So please, don't act special just because you hold a special book, stand in a special box, or preach under a special symbol. Unless you are a 20-meter-tall flaming sphere with interlocking rings, wings, and hundreds of radiant eyes, I will keep questioning your so-called direct line to the Big G himself. Those words alone might be enough to convict me of blasphemy. But then again, I call myself the heretical Hatter for a reason. And yet, despite those beliefs, I still consider myself somewhat spiritual. Or maybe just someone fascinated by spirituality. It always intrigued me. The myths, the legends, the monsters, the blessing and curses, fate and destiny, gods and prophets, demons and spirits. All of that has always piqued my curiosity. How did it start? I honestly have no idea. Maybe it was my love of books and stories. Maybe it came from my passion for history, where the further back you go, the more the supernatural seeps into every tale. Or maybe it's because I've always been fascinated by what the humans choose to believe, since I never devoted myself to any single faith. There are countless stories that touch on this subject, too many to count. But for this 4000 special, I want to talk about two that I find especially compelling. The deities of Stalker and Metro 2033. But before we begin, remember to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, the whole shtick. You know what to do. There is the new hype mechanic on YouTube, so if you can, hype the video, help it and our community grow. If you can, support me on Patreon or donate through Ko-fi to the art budget. It's thanks to your support that the Star Wars X Warhammer 40k series has its own art gallery that continues to grow. I'm also giving special thanks to Artificial Dragon and Darth Celine, hosts of Can Mayonnaise Kill a Jedi podcast, for inviting me to be their guest in the latest episode dedicated to droids. It was a real pleasure. I encourage you to check them out. Link to the video in the pinned comment below. With that out of the way, grab your vodka, check your Geiger counter, reload your AK-47 and make sure those gas mask filters are fresh. Let's get to it. Gods aren't the first thing you think of when someone mentions Stalker or Metro 2033. Sure, both universes have their share of supernatural elements, but there is still a big leap between unexplained phenomena and actual gods. And yet, they are there. You will notice them more in the books than in the games, or if you step back and analyze the world on a larger scale. Let's start with the simplest and most obvious god shared by both stories: radiation. Now, you might say, wait a minute, Hatter, radiation isn't a deity, it's just energy, a wave, not a god. And yet, in both stories, radiation takes the shape of a twisted divinity, because what does radiation bring? Mutation. Countless myths tell us that the gods shaped creatures from clay and breathed life into their creations. But radiation is no god of creation, it's a god of mutation, corruption, and adaptation. This deity doesn't sculpt from nothing, it steals the work of other gods, reshaping life into something new. It twists the familiar into monstrous forms, creatures closer to myth and nightmare than to the animals we once knew. Even when humans claim responsibility for creating some new abomination, radiation is always part of the process, an integral hand in the act of rebirth. A dark, insidious god, whispering promises of power into the ears of ambitious scientists, the godlike ability to reshape life itself. And you can't fight this deity, not really. At best you can hide from him, try to purge his presence from your body, usually with the help of copious amount of vodka. Not that I blame the stalkers for drinking. On the surface, you can hear this god's hymn echoing from your Geiger counter. The closer you come, the louder his voice becomes, singing a song of death and mutation, eager to corrupt your marrow, to strip your flesh, to choke you with your own blood, repeating the same dreadful refrain. Death or adaptation. Death or adaptation. Who wouldn't drink to draw out that song? And if you hear this god, roll the die. There is no other deity to save you, for this being takes equal pleasure in your slow death as in your transformation. No matter how the die lands, you will hear his cackle through the Geiger counter. Your name, your rank, your skill or experience, it doesn't matter. Listen to this god's song for too long, and you will be lost forever, either as a corpse or as something that once was human. Now, moving to Stalker proper, there is one high deity that towers above all others. A goddess to whom all stalkers pay tribute, in bullets, sweat, blood, and death. The Zone. The goddess who reigns above everything else. Her closest counterpart would be Lady Fortune herself. She alone decides whenever the stalker who enters her realm will live or die. Every force within her borders, anomalies, radiation, even the wish granter, are but extensions of her power. She can shower you with riches beyond imagination in one breath, then snuff out your life in the next. And the stalkers? They are obsessed with her. Passion drives them, insatiable greed, desperate love, burning hatred, one way or another. The moment you step into her domain, she takes a piece of you and leaves a piece of herself within your soul. From then on, you belong to her, whenever you'll accept it or not. Most stalkers simply live with it, wandering through her bountiful realm, gathering riches, seeking glory, thanking for her generosity one moment, cursing her cruelty the next. Freedom is entranced by her. They want to protect her, to revel in her with every fiber of their being. Their love is joyous, but tinged with the memory of her dangers. Duty despises her. They see her as a cage, a curse. They want her contained, locked away, maybe even destroyed. They know they are her prisoners, so in spiteful vengeance they dream of imprisoning the goddess as she imprisoned them. The ecologists seek to understand her, knowledge, no matter the cost. They cannot accept that the incomprehensible cannot be comprehended. Yet they do not care. They lose themselves in their studies, obsessed with the idea that one day they might understand and catalogue her divinity. And then there is Monolith. Devoted to the goddess, they surrendered their very souls to her, becoming her willing servants. Zealots, fanatics, their only purpose is to guard her heart, the center of the zone itself. And you know what all stalkers share, no matter their path? They can't leave her. This obsession, whether it's fascination, love, hatred, or fanatic devotion, always calls them back. Few stalkers have the willpower to leave her realm forever, and even those who do can still hear her voice, whispering their name, asking them to return, to step into her embrace one more time. Think of the countless old stalkers we meet in the games and stories. Too old to hunt, too frail to face the dangers of the zone, but still unable to walk away. And when you die in the games, the words appear lost to the zone. To me, that always carried a deeper meaning. You are lost in the goddess' embrace. She has finally claimed you. And how joyful she must be, knowing you will never leave her again. For the zone is a goddess who loves you, but makes no distinction between charity and cruelty. To her, it's all the same, as long as her stalkers belong to her. Now, Metro 2033 is different. It's harder to spot the central deity in this world. Yes, there are monsters, anomalies, and literal ghosts of the dead. Clear proof there is more at work than meets the eye. But an obvious god? Harder to find. And yet, he is there, hidden, overlooked. Few notice him because, after all, how can you recognize a god when you live inside him? The metro system itself is a god. The tunnels are its veins, the stations its organs, the people its blood cells. Some of more perceptive whisper that when the bombs fell, Earth was cut off from both heaven and hell. That humanity now lives underground, inside a purgatory that gained sentience. This is a young, confused god, brimming with power but with little control over it. A god whose presence drives mortals to madness. The Red Line, the Fourth Reich, Hansa, Police, every faction lives inside the body of a god who is both alive and dead. A god that shelters not just the desperate survivors of the Third World War, but also the restless ghosts of those who perished, whenever in the fire of the bombs or in the long cold struggle after. Unlike the Zone, the Metro is not a supreme deity, it is simply one among many. The true power still lies within radiation, for it is radiation that birthed the Dark Ones, Homo Novus, a new species destined to replace Homo sapiens. In our arrogance, we created hell on earth. Yet to the Dark Ones, this very hell is their Garden of Eden. In the games, we meet different cults, and even small godlings. In Metro Exodus, we encounter a sect that worship a giant mutated carp, and in a way, it is a god, a creature that rules the waters and dominates the local fauna. It's a weak deity, one you can kill if you are clever, but slaying a god, even a small one, carries consequences. How will the cult endure without their divine protector? What happens to the ecosystem when you destroy the apex predator? And if you dive into the extended books written in Metro 2033 universe, you will find even more supernatural phenomena and godlike beings. It seems that the end of a human world in nuclear fire was not the end of creation, but its rebirth. From the primal chaos brought upon by nuclear fire and nuclear winter, a new pantheon rises from the corpse of the old world. The old gods had to die for the new gods to be born. And Homo Novus, the Dark Ones, are the prophets of new beginning. Here we find many similarities between Metro and Stalker. Both were born in Eastern Europe, carrying the weight of its brutal history. The scars of the Soviet regime, the cruelty of ordinary life, the choice between losing yourself for some greater cause or clinging to survival, serving only yourself. This is no Fallout. There are no cheerful pre-war jingles as you wander the wasteland. No mini-nuke launcher to make you laugh as you vaporize enemies to the tune of swing music. Instead, you hear a melody played by a fellow survivor near the campfire. The song is beautiful, haunting, because deep down you know the truth. You live in the shadow of eldritch gods. And in those rare, quiet moments by the fire, surrounded by companions, you dare to hope you are beyond their reach, beyond their notice. But you never are. You are a human, but this is no longer your world. In the Zone, you trespass in the realm of alien goddess. Your old gods hold no power here. In the Metro, you burn the garden you were meant to guard. You lost your custodianship. You forfeited the protection of the old gods. In both stories, one truth remains. You are no longer at the top of a food chain. You are no longer one of the chosen. Your chance to stand at the top is gone. Now, you are nothing more than a plaything in the hands of the new gods. They are always watching, and you cannot escape. Not anymore. And that's about it for this video. I hope this 4K special, where I talk about something else than sci-fi, was enjoyable and refreshing. I was a fan of both Stalker and Metro 2033 for a very long time, and I'm glad I could share some of my thoughts on both series with all of you. If you enjoyed this content, I kindly ask you to like, comment, subscribe and ring that bell. If you can, support me on Patreon. I also encourage you to donate to Ko-fi Art Budget, so that the art gallery for Star Wars X Warhammer 40k series could grow even more. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed. Now, my dear viewers and listeners, remember, wherever you are, whatever you do, try to enjoy yourself while you can. I wish you most heretical day. Ta-ta!